The kitchen light in my mother's cozy suburban home in Connecticut hummed like a dying insect, casting erratic shadows across the granite counters. It had been that way for years. A small annoyance no one fixed, much like the bruises I used to hide. I was 34 now. Sarah Ellis. Sitting there in a wool sweater that swallowed my frame, sleeves tugged down just enough to cover the faded scar on my forearm, a reminder of a grip that had once felt like iron. My mother, Elaine, clutched her tea mug so tightly her knuckles blanched, her eyes pleading in that familiar, silent way. Please, Sarah, don't stir up the past at Olivia's wedding. She's your stepsister. Let it be her day. The past had a name, Harlan Brooks. My stepfather. The man whose hands could crush a beer can or a spirit with equal ease. His text still came. Veiled threats wrapped in fake concern. Like the one buzzing on my phone right then. Keep quiet. Or you'll regret it. I screenshot it. Filed it away in my encrypted folder labeled evidence log and felt the old fear stir in my gut. But I pushed it down. This wasn't about fear anymore. It was about the plan I'd been building. Piece by meticulous piece. For 2 years. The air in the kitchen thickened with unspoken words. The scent of chamomile tea turning bitter in my throat. Elaine's voice cracked as she repeated her plea. Her face lined with the weight of choices she'd made long ago, marrying Harlan after my father left. Turning a blind eye to the nights I'd lock my door. The mornings I'd wince at breakfast. Olivia, Harlan's daughter, had always been the favored one. The one who got the new clothes. The praise. The blind spot for his temper. We weren't blood, but we'd shared a house of secrets. Her island of denial floating safely, while mine was a storm-ravaged shore. I nodded at my mother. Not promising peace. Just acknowledging the storm brewing. As I rinsed my mug, the water swirling down the drain like forgotten regrets, I whispered to myself, "This is for the truth." Mom. The coffee maker gurgled to life as I started a fresh brew. Its steady rhythm a counterpoint to the chaos in my mind. The fear room in my head, the one with walls of ice and no escape, was locked now. I'd built another space. A strategy room lit by logic. Maps of deceit pinned to invisible walls. Today, I lived there. At Vanguard Financial Services in downtown Hartford, where I headed the fraud detection unit. The office hummed with the quiet efficiency of algorithms sifting through millions in transactions. We were expanding our digital security arm, a project called Fortress, pumping funds into new data centers across the Northeast. That's where the rot crept in, a flood of invoices from a vendor called Apex Guard Solutions. The name hit me like a slap, Apex, echoing Harlan's old consulting gig. I kept my poker face, but my pulse raced as I dug in. The charges for enhanced encryption protocols were inflated by 300%. Duplicate billings for the same risk assessment service across sites. Typos copied verbatim like lazy fingerprints. It screamed amateur hour. Or worse, arrogance, the kind Harlan wore like a badge. An email from our CFO, Mitchell Grant. Pinged urgently, Sarah. Greenlight the Apex batch. Vendors pre-vetted for Fortress. No holdups. Pre-vetted? That was code for don't dig. But digging was my job. My armor. I traced the EIN. Apex Guard's tax ID. To a shared PO. Box with evergreen celebrations. An event planning outfit. Not security. Not finance, weddings. Their site boasted lavish affairs. String lights in barns. Happy couples. And there, front and center, their featured partner, Willow Creek Pavilion. The exact venue for Olivia's wedding in 3 days. The connection snapped into place like a lock, Harlan Brooks. Apex Guard, vendor. Shared address with Evergreen Celebrations events. Willow Creek, wedding spot. This wasn't coincidence, it was a money funnel. Vanguard's funds, laundered through fake security contracts, paying for his daughter's dream day. The rage simmered low. A controlled burn. Harlan had invaded my professional world, turning my company into a slush fund. I opened an internal probe ticket, ticket 492F. Suspected kickback scheme. Vendor, Apex Guard Solutions. Involved, Mitchell Grant. CFO. Details. Overinflated invoices linked to personal event funding via affiliated entity. Recommend payment freeze and audit. It went live. Then stalled, blocked by Grant himself within minutes. He was in on it, shielding the fraud. That evening, Elaine called. Her voice a whisper-thin veil. Harlan's covering everything for Olivia's wedding. He's being so kind. Please, don't ruin it. Kind? It was blood money. Buying silence. I didn't argue, I just noted the confirmation. My algorithm tripped later, a transfer from Apex to Evergreen. Memo, venue package. VFest discount. Discount? It was the bribe, approve the fakes. Get the wedding paid. Printing the record. The machines were echoed the old terror. I was 15. Hallway shadows long. Harlan's belt sliding free with that hiss of leather. Promising pain. Now. That sound was mine, evidence stacking like ammunition. Timestamps aligned. Wedding payment at 2:47 p.m. Grant's approval 9 minutes later. A quid pro quo in black and white. An anonymous tip hit my whistleblower line. Check Vault Server 23 at Eastport Data Center. I drove there that night. The chill air biting as I inspected. Server 23, sleek exterior. Lights green. But inside? Empty shell, no drives. No cooling fans. A ghost machine. Invoiced at $500,000. Installed with Harlan's signature on the slip, that bold HB flourish I'd seen on my forged permission slips. I called my PI, Jax Riley, on retainer from my savings. Tail Evergreen. Full workup, finances. Contacts. Wedding's the deadline. He chuckled. From fraud to fairy tales? On it. The trap needed finesse, not force. I baited with a protocol demo request. Prove your flame-retardant data shield distinguishes real fires from harmless sparks. Grant forwarded, Harlan bit. Boasting his foolproof tech. I slipped a clause into the addendum, right to test in a third-party public event. He signed blind. Hired undercover videographers, fraud experts posing as wedding crew, with thermal cams hidden in lights. Alerted CEO Victoria Hale. XDA with a shark's instinct, if wrong. I resign. If right. Counsel on standby Saturday. 8:45 p.m. Attached the core proof. Wedding day, Willow Creek glowed under fairy lights. Guests in finery. I blended in. Heart pounding. Harlan glad-handed. Olivia beamed. My team spotted the spoof device in the AV room. Apex Guard Model 9. Serial VFS 4923, matching our unpaid invoice. Stolen property. Live in action. I texted Hale. Fraud confirmed. Asset in use. Sparklers lit at 8:44. A tunnel of fire. Alarm silent, device working. Then the LED wall flickered, not slideshow, but transfers. Ledgers. Memos screaming, VFS bundle. Murmurs turned to gasps. Final slide, side-by-side PO and device photo. Serial circled. Silence crushed the barn. Eyes on Harlan. His face cracking under sparkler glow. I stepped forward. Mic live. Misuse of interstate wires for fraud. 18 U.S.C. Section 1343. Hale's text, proceed. Deputies arrived. Prepped by counsel. Grant panicked. Phone showing a one-way ticket to non-extradition paradise, snapped by Jax. Harlan snarled. Shut it down. His roar echoed. Damning. Elaine gripped my arm. Sarah. Stop. How many days have we endured? Harlan hissed. You think this changes shit? I played his threat audio. Scream all you want. No one hears. Olivia sobbed. Bouquet dropping. Harlan lunged for the laptop. Jax pinned him, cracking his hand on the cake table. Chimes. Termination emails to both. Sheriff touched Harlan's shoulder. You're done. Elaine's eyes shut. Defeated. I uncurled her fingers. I brought truth. Not drama. Mic dropped. Rolling to the wilted flowers. Sparklers died. Wind clearing the smoke. Harlan's eyes met mine. Defeat. This sparkler line, I whispered. Ends you. The screen went black. The price? A shattered family. But my cage unlocked. Freedom tasted like ash. But it was mine.